What's going on, Cancer? And welcome to the Chariot Friends. Justin here, and I hope you're feeling incredible today. So, for those of you who are returning, welcome back, Soul Tribe. I appreciate your subscriptions, your likes, and shares. Your support really is just the best, Cancer, and it keeps us growing. And for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm happy Higher Self has brought you here. We are in for an amazing journey. So the purpose of this channel, for those of you who have Cancer in your placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, Mars, wherever, Cancer, this one's for you. And I do tarot card spreads based off our ruler here, the good old Moon. And I'll talk about what sign she's in, what phase she's in, when she's going void, of course, just all of those lunar shenanigans. And just so you're all aware, this is a general reading, not a one-to-one, so take what resonates with you, leave the rest with me. Never force a reading on a situation, and everything will be fantastic, Cancer. Now, let's jump into it. Your space has been cleansed. Gems, feeling lovely. Just great energy all around here, Cancer. And Cancer, I hope you're feeling excellent because the moon is at home. She's chilling. She put it through on some yoga pants and let's just kick back and just relax, Cancer. And with the moon just being in Cancer, this is a time where you may notice that you may be feeling a little more emotional at this time, a little more sensitive. But Cancer, that's just another word for intuitive for us. So let that be with your emotions at this time and allow them just to try not to attach to anything. It's not like I feel this way or I'm angry, I'm upset, I'm sad, I'm happy. It's like, no, I'm experiencing these emotions. We're just feeling them out, Cancer. But also, this is a good time for for nurturing yourself, any of our loved ones, and maybe even just taking care of the home front, just kind of getting everything just feeling just nice, nice and pleasant, Cancer. So, maybe listen to some soft music, just something to get you in that Queen of Cups, just very zen type of mode. And then also the moon is in a first quarter phase. So this is the time to just check to see if our actions are lining up with our intentions. We had planned on doing whatever it is during this cycle. Have we been actually taking steps towards that? If you've been wanting to do this new diet, how's the grocery list looking? Have we been working in some of the stuff into our cupboards and refrigerators? Or if we've been wanting to get out and about, have we been doing that, learning new skills, whatever that is, Cancer. Ooh, Cancer. I love that. Sidebar, you got the first card of Cancer. So we're going to talk about your general energy in a minute, but come on, the moon's at home and we get number 1 Cancer card. It's going to be a great day, Cancer. And also, just know with this first quarter phase, it's going to hit its peak today on the 28th at 9:33, and that's going to be Central Time. So just a little tidbit for you there, Cancer. And also, for those of you who have your moon in Cancer, this is a good time. So, good incentive to check your chart, because depending on where your moon sign's at, you can come into a lunar return. And the lunar return is just a time when the moon is at the exact point that your natal moon position was when you were born on your astrology chart. And when you're in your lunar return, so those of you with your moon in Cancer, happy lunar return. And the lunar return is just a time to check any sort of ingrained habits that we might have, or any sort of unconscious habits that we may want to correct, and just working with the energies, Cancer. So just something to think about. And then a couple other things. These readings that I do, they're not gender specific readings, so apply these energies to people as they make sense for your situations. And the decks that I'm working with, they're all down in the description box below, so definitely check that out if you're interested, Cancer. But let's talk about your general energy of the day, which is really, we're just going to be in our energy today. Cancer is the first card of Cancer, and it's the Pearl card, which this is emotional force, opening up, experiential wisdom. Excuse me. Let me get my reading glasses on. Honesty, intuition, perception, loyalty, the moon, subconscious mind, hidden things, diving deep, layers, and developing character. And so, I mean, Cancer, this energy right here, I mean, this is almost void of course energy in the sense of like, while, when I was talking about how sensitive we can be, how emotional Cancerian energy, everyone thinks that about Cancer, but it's just in the sense that like, oh, they just feel so many emotions, they're so emotional and they don't know how to deal with it. But Cancer, and I was actually just thinking about this kind of this morning, we are our ruler, the moon, and just our sign, we go through so many cycles, and with these ever constant, just changing emotions and feelings and starts and stops, where it can seem like a lot, it really is a perk, Cancer, and it really can become a superpower when we get that experiential wisdom. Oh, there we go. Now look at that. When we get some experience with it, then they become less of things that we attach to and more like signals. You know what I mean, Cancer? I feel like when we start to really understand like how rapid these feelings can go, it gets you to a place where, like, instead of saying like, I think I might have just said this, Cancer, but like I am mad, I am happy, I am sad, it's just like just going through. I was like, wait a minute, I think I'm having deja vu, Cancer. But this really is a good time I feel like to really get to know who you are, understand your intuition, because we're all intuitive in some way, shape, or form. It just translates differently. And I really feel, Cancer, just so, just with all this card, I agree all with this, opening up and really being honest with yourself and allowing yourself to do some meditation, be with your mind, and kind of feel these emotions as they come through, because they really are, I personally feel that these emotions really try to guide us through life, Cancer. We experience this stuff and then we get the wisdom from it, and then we keep moving. So I hope that makes sense, Cancer. But let's see how we can work with these energies. See how we can work with our energy. Because this is a good time, Cancer, just to really think about all the different cycles. I mean, lunar phase. I think we really feel like with this whole conversation, like we had some talk about something like this similar, where it's like lunar cycles, what sign she's in, void of course time, just like so right, so many cycles. Wheel of Fortune in reverse. And Cancer, this I really feel that with the Wheel of Fortune popping up in reverse. When I think about how we feel, Cancer, and sometimes, if we get kind of caught up in one particular emotion and kind of let that set the pace for the, maybe for the day, for the week, however long, then I feel that's when we're emotional, when it's like when life is kind of happening, when the emotions kind of like they're guiding where they're like, it's almost like, instead of you grabbing the reins of the horse on your carriage, we're just letting the horses just run free. That's what this Wheel of Fortune kind of feels like. And it's inviting us, Cancer, to grab the reins, to take control of where you want these cycles to head it, to get towards your fortune. Because if we've been missing things, if things have been like, if we've been sort of like, I don't know, maybe feel like we haven't been able to get ahead, or things haven't been going our way, just been very frustrated, whatever that looks like. These things aren't permanent. It's just when we decide to really kind of understand what's going on within us and figure out how to quiet that inner turmoil and really get control, like, it doesn't even feel like a control, Cancer. It's really just a working with the energies. And then when you do, things start looking up, that wheel starts turning in the direction that you want it to go. But it is something that we can only get that wisdom through the knowledge and allowing ourselves to feel. And that's a really important thing too, Cancer. And I feel like that's something to be mindful of, where I wouldn't say, like I'm not going to knock down any like, recreations or anything like that. But, using recreations, I feel, like what, drugs, alcohol, whatever, any kind of distractions to keep us from feeling something, though, Cancer, I do feel like that puts us in a kind of a precarious place, because if we're not feeling anything, then we're just kind of going through life, and you're just, it's autopilot, and there's nothing really fulfilling about it. It's just like one of those little bots that you put on that just kind of clean your floor as the mess comes up, but there's no real sort of like guidance. I hope that makes sense, Cancer. This is going to be an interesting reading, I tell. You're switching it up on. I thought we were going to get philosophical on Fridays, but why not do it on a Tuesday? More. Let's see what else we got here, Cancer. And just thinking about Jupiter energy, because that's what the Wheel of Fortune is represented by. Jupiter's about higher learning, Cancer, and also reward and luck and all, in abundance was what Jupiter represents. So I feel that really, if we got just took them, and Jupiter's exalted in our sign, Cancer, which means the energies are really strong in our sign. Maybe not as strong as when it's in like Sagittarius or Pisces, but it's like the next best thing. So. There's something here for that, Cancer. Look at that. 8 of Stars, something that Cancer, getting this into practice, like, because and I don't feel like this happens often, Cancer, but I do feel that I think when people learn that maybe that you're a Cancerian or something like that, the initial spot is, oh, Cancers are like, I don't know about you, but Cancers are so emotional, and it's just like, well, then what? Let's change the narrative. Let's work on that. Let's change the perception, because Cancer, we're more than just that. We're nurturers. We're intuitive. We're just. There's depth here that's wanting to be discovered. And Cancer, when you do learn yourself more and realize the energies that you're dealing with, even just as just your Cancerian energy, there is a plethora of just abilities that can come out of just that energy alone, just understanding Cancerian. And then if you want to build off of that, learning your chart, then it's a whole thing. Now you're really manifesting. But this is something that is going to get into the routine and to understand, what you're, how do you want to, and Cancer, this could be more, so let's broaden this up a little bit, because this could be more than just understanding like your emotions. This could just even be just self-improvement. If you feel any kind of shortcomings that you want to learn, I don't know, like just a skill, or maybe you want to go maybe change careers, or maybe whatever this looks like. If we don't do anything to improve ourselves, or work with these cycles here, set intentions as we go, then the abundance stops coming in, Cancer. And it's not to say that you'll never get it, but it's just stopped for a second because the energies become stagnant. We haven't improved. Life is about, constantly taking that. We're the Chariot, Cancer, and we're all about keeping it moving, keeping that growth happening. So also, just making sure that we're just doing some things, just to learn and improve, because that helps our creativity, and it just takes us to newer heights, Cancer, and just unlocks different opportunities and just fortune for you. So more pearls. Okay, more. Interesting. Okay, so we got the interesting. Okay, so yeah, we're going to talk about these cards first. You got the 7 of Stars and the 8 of Wands, both in reverse here, and then we finish it off with the Strength card. So again, some things that we can work on, Cancer, how we can really work with this energy. Start nurturing. I really feel like areas that you feel that you want to be stronger in with this strength card. Let's let these, see this infinity sign here? Let's get it, so let's help get it so that our abilities are working for us here, because it's, you, I'm just saying, this layers and developing character, Cancer, deep hidden things. I feel that when we tap into invest in ourselves, we really do unlock just like surprising things, like things you may not have even considered before. For example, even prior to, like, I had like a real kind of heavy musical background, and tarot just kind of came out of left field, but it was something that, when I learned that more about side of myself, it opened up pearls, started coming out. But we need to, it's putting in that energy, putting in stuff towards that, because again, nothing's going to happen if we don't invest in ourselves, Cancer. And there's something, and again, that can be in any aspect of you, just really knowing the energies that you're working with. It helps. It even makes you just more efficient in life, Cancer, because maybe if you've noticed that, like, gosh, if you've been feeling exhausted for a long time or anything like that, maybe it's just what you've been doing. Maybe it's the work that you're doing, maybe it's not, maybe it's the food that we're eating, maybe it's the whatever it could be, but it all comes from that inner understanding, finding your true strength and then refining those skills, working on this stuff. So I like this, Cancer. While the moon's in Cancer, think of some ways that you can nurture your abilities and really sharpen that, listen to that intuitive side of us, these emotions, these feelings. If let's get to some challenges. And I hope I'm not coming at you, Cancer. It's just this type of stuff here that's really exciting. Just thinking about you becoming the pearl that you're meant to be, Cancer, because this is what we're all trying to get to in life. That how we can really refine and shine our brightest light and raise that vibration. But yeah, let's see what are some challenges that may come with working with this energy here. Not taking any time to reflect, Cancer. You got the Hanged Man in reverse, and the Hanged Man's been following us around a little bit. But the Hanged Man, I feel really, Cancer, I think that sometimes we just sort of, I think when we think about like developing ourselves and improvement and like intuition, and because when I'll say, for example, like I remember talking with someone and they were saying, like, they were talking about, we were kind of talking about intuition. It's like, well, they were like, well, Justin, yeah, you're intuitive, I'm not so much. And I was just like, what makes you think that you're not intuitive? What perspective, like, who says who other than yourself? Like, that's, I feel that sometimes we underestimate ourselves, Cancer, and how what capacity we can really bring it. You know what I mean? I feel like that we can sometimes, because the Hanged Man is Neptune energy. And when you think about Neptune energy, it can be some of the fantasies, and it can also kind of deal with sort of like places of like confinement. I'm thinking of like, prison, mental asylums, things like that. Because Neptune rules the 12th house. But these are all things that constrict us, Cancer, and these limits that we tell ourselves that we can't possibly be. But I feel this challenge is saying to allow yourself to, you can embody whatever version of whatever the best version of yourself that you're picturing in your head, you can embody that. But again, it's taking that initiative into, Cancer, believing that you can, and not even just believing, knowing that you can, because you absolutely can. How, you may be thinking, like, for example, you may be thinking, maybe I want to be, I don't know, like a millionaire. How your route may look different than how maybe people have traditionally gotten there, but you can do it. It's just figuring out how you do it, and really, and then focusing on that strength, paying attention, just thinking about the moon, paying attention to how your energies work in all of these cycles. Because some of us might think, and I've said this before, Cancer, in the past, where it's like you kind of feel like you've been dealt a crappy hand, and it's not that, Cancer. If anything, it's just like, okay, if you feel like you got like a limited amount of skills, okay, well then sharpen those skills, and when the moment comes for you to really display those, bring it, like make it work, make it pop, but we just got to work with, we can focus on the fact that like, oh, I can't use this hand in every situation, which is like, yeah, of course, we all have different strengths that we're bringing, but when it's time to bring it, Cancer, that's when you shine, when the moon's at its fullest, it's a whole thing. So, more. Let's get some more, Cancer. Oh, Night. Okay. All right, Cancer. So we got Knight of Swords in reverse, and then the Three of Swords in reverse. And I like this. The challenge is, I do feel like it's going to be healing, Cancer, and I feel like it's going to be, because when we do these deep dives and kind of like really start to understand ourselves regardless, sometimes I feel that this could possibly bring up some tough emotions, just because we may think that like, oh, well, I got this skill, but like the idea of maybe starting got fresh, could possibly frustrate us. But Cancer, I feel like don't be afraid of the challenge, whatever this looks like. If it's going to, again, raise your vibration and it's going to just get you closer to embodying that best version of yourself, however that looks like, then, go for it. But we have, I feel like this Knight of Wands, it's really taking the action and really seeing that big picture as well, Cancer, to see, that all these investments are going to pay off in the long run, how this image is looking. So, more. All right, let's get some advice from the moon. All right, Cancer, you got the Seven of Moons, and then you got the Nine of Wands here. And the Seven of Moons is in reverse. And I feel like some advice, Cancer, is to, again, to learn what you're working with, to not allow you, to not get overwhelmed by all of the things that you want to do, to start with one, if it feels like you don't know where to start, just again, trust that intuition and feel which one is resonating with you, that your higher self is trying to pull you towards, Cancer. And you'll know when what feels right. It's just, we got to honestly listen to that intuition, and then when the sign is there, full steam ahead, put in that energy, put in that work. And it's going to be work, Cancer. It's going to take a minute for this to become like kind of settled in more. But when we persevere, when we put in that work, by this, because I'm thinking this is this card is the moon in Sagittarius. By the time the next cycle rolls around, we've gotten that fortune. So, I just really, Cancer, it may feel a little tough at first. There may be reasons to, there may be plenty of reasons to not, or that may try to deter you, or, that may kind of throw you off your game. But, I just, personal development, this is going to be just a great day just to think about that, think of how we, and even think broader, Cancer, this doesn't even necessarily have to be for the day, just when we're thinking about the lunar cycles, because it doesn't have to be anything like when I say we're setting our intentions. It's not like, oh, I need to have this business started by the like the next 20 some odd days, that it takes for a lunar cycle to go. No, Cancer, this is just really just, it could be little things, like I want to start going to bed at 9 o'clock every night, and getting up at 5, getting like a solid 8 hours. Or this is something that I want to, I don't know, Cancer, I want to, what do you want to do? I want to, I don't know, get more on like a workout routine, doing like 100 push-ups every day, and then maybe going for like a mile, whatever that looks like, or I just want to make more time to just do some coloring, or maybe some art or some poetry or whatever that looks like, Cancer. But just working with these cycles, it's it's a constant improvement. Oh, there you go. Eight more. Oh, I like that, Cancer. That's a nice little finisher. Let's switch back over. So, last little card. You got the Ace of Moons here. And this is what happens when we focus on ourselves, Cancer, and fill up all our cups. This is the Ace of Cups in traditional decks. But this is where the Ace of Cups really kind of almost represents everything this Pearl card is talking about, getting in touch with your intuition, and really just like feeling where the energies are trying to pull you, Cancer, and feeling what areas in your life that you're trying to go to and where you're trying to grow, and to follow that, because the Ace of Cups is just like, it's like your cups are overflowing. This is like this is a big emotional type of win, and a real kind of deep understanding of yourself. The Ace of Moons too, just when you're thinking about nurturing your ideas, Cancer, and really discovering who you are, know that you are just a bottomless well of love. The Ace of Moons is just a beautiful card. And when you're in this energy, and really just doing all this growth and all this healing, remember that you have all this love that's fueling this drive here, these dreams. And just like it's a beautiful thing that can happen, Cancer, when we're going through this self-growth. So yeah, take some time and just do a deep dive, and just like really come to, let's meditate, let's zen, whatever that looks like. Maybe go on a camping trip, whatever, anything to kind of calm your mind and find tune up, sync up with the moon here. So all right, Cancer, I think I'm gonna leave that there, and I hope that made sense. That was definitely more kind of more intuitive, or more like not intuitive, but I mean, you're gonna be super intuitive, Cancer, but just deeper than I thought. But I guess you know what, the moon's at home, we can discuss stuff like this, Cancer. We're gonna have a little deep discussions here while the moon's at home. But if anything resonated with you, give it a thumbs up and share this, Cancer, because really our Cancerian energy, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Mercury, Mars, wherever, it really is it helps us just really kind of tune in to our emotional side. It doesn't just something that we just have to be, it's something that we experience, and it's something that when we're nurturing others, because listen, everybody wants to call us emotional, but when they're all up in their emotions, they don't know what to do. So that's what we're there for, Cancer, to help them kind of work through that. It's just like, I may not understand your unique situation, but I understand, Three of Swords on a base level. Now take me to let's go to the depths and see where your story's at. Let me help you, but I mean, what were we talking about, Cancer? Oh, making just Cancerians just stronger nurturers. So share that, Cancer, and then get all those amazing Cancerians over here to subscribe and tell them, I mean, they're intuitive, so they'll know when I upload videos each week. And then social media, Cancer, I got something else that I'm working on. I mentioned a little bit yesterday, but I'm still kind of getting some tweaks and things, and got to get it all beautiful and whatnot. So hang tight. I got something else cooking up in the mix. I just got to figure out what that means. So yeah, but I am on Insight Timer. It's a meditation app. That's been like the biggest one I've been pushing, because Facebook, Instagram. I followed someone on Instagram. Fun little facts. What that means. Because I followed them, but now I can't find them. So nature of my problem. Still on Insight Timer. I created this group. Let's move on. Created this group, Zodiac's Raising the Vibration, and it's just a place to drop positive affirmations. When you come out of this, hermit situation that you're going through, getting all wise, Cancer, drop some positive affirmations, some wisdom, whatever. So just a place to raise the vibration. Or if you just need a little pick-me-up, just stop by. Like I drop, I put in affirmations daily, so there's just a little treasure trove of just positivity in there. And again, that's Zodiac's Raising the Vibration, and as it grows, Cancer, I want to do like a meditation groups and just have a whole good little fun time there. So come on over and join. And then lastly, if you know how I feel about checking your chart, but if you want to know like your personal planets, just get a real snapshot of you, you know, sun, moon, rising, those are your big three. So if you just leave with those, I'd even be cool with that. But sun, moon, rising, Mercury, Venus, Mars, I think that's it. Those six, those will give you a good snapshot of who you are. And then go check out my channel, Alchemist 8. I do weekly videos there. I'm thinking about changing something up here, Cancer. It's still kind of, as you can see, cycles, constantly changing, lunar shenanigans. You know how it goes. But all that housekeeping, Cancer, down in the description box below. But let me get your surprise card so I can get you out of here. Interesting. Okay. Oh, I like that. You got the Seven of Swords in reverse here. And then let's see what your Oracle card is. Okay. And then you got the Shapeshift card, Cancer. But this is in reverse too. And you know what? It's in reverse right now just because I feel like you're learning yourself right now. We're learning how adaptable our energies can be, how flexible it can be. You know what? This to me, Cancer, is like saying to, you know, like really learn how multifaceted you are and the abilities that you have at your disposal. And be honest with that, Cancer, because you can totally bring it. And the Seven of Swords for me too, it's also about learning skills, because it can normally be a card of like trickery, deception, cunning, things along those lines. But for me, in order to be any of those things, you got to at least, you know, you got to do some research first. You know, you got to have at least, you know, the mind's got to be working. So I feel that this is something that, you know, get that mind working, Cancer. You know, let's do some, let's see what areas that you want to improve in. Let's do some brainstorming, and then start growing, Cancer, because really, Cancer, for us being a cardinal sign, you know, a sign that really initiates, we really are a very flexible sign, you know, as even amongst the cardinal signs, you know. So this is something, really play to your strengths and see where how that evolution looks like. So I'm with it, Cancer. I think I'm gonna leave that there. So stay safe out there. And you keep eyes on the moon here, because I tell you what, Cancer, I don't think you realize, you know, because this is energy you're bringing me all the time, and when you do stuff, especially stuff like this, Cancer, moon in Cancer, and you get the first card of Cancer, you're more synced up with this energies than you realize. So pay attention to that moon, because she's really trying to show you how intuitive you really are. And I will catch you on the next one tomorrow.